Here at Onfido, we're working to solve a 30-year-old problem, and we think we have the solution. How do you know who someone is online? Over the years, there have been many attempts to solve the identity problem. Social security numbers, databases, knowledge-based authentication. AI is how we're solving it. You want to register customers and keep them loyal, but you don't want to let anyone in. You want to catch the bad actors who might commit fraudulent activity, because when you let them in, you expose yourself to revenue loss and decreased platform trust, which equates to brand deterioration. So you need a way of identifying your customers at registration. And that's where identity verification, or IDV, comes in. It lets you identify bad actors and fraudulent applications. But IDV is a tricky balance. It needs to be frictionless, or people will abandon the sign-up process. It needs to deal with scale across multiple geographies. It needs to deal with the complexity of modern fraud. At Onfido, we've built our AI-powered IDV solution to deal with these three challenges. When a user submits an application, they fall into three buckets: perfect pass, perfect fail, and a third. But let's look at the first two for now. With a perfect pass, the user captures their document in-app, and we assess whether it's genuine or fraudulent using a combination of AI and human experts. And then the user captures a selfie. We analyze a number of biometric data points to ensure the selfie isn't spoofed and matches the picture on the document. Here, they match, so we know the person who's applied is in possession of an authentic document. With a perfect fail, we look at the same process again. But here the document and selfie don't match. They're totally different people. So the system would flag the application. Perfect passes and perfect fails are easy for the system to process, but most applications aren't perfect. That's where Onfido is different. We built our machine learning, or ML, models in-house to deal with the imperfect, with the real world. And in the real world, we need to deal with the vast number of ways in which fraudsters can try to trick the system, and genuine users can submit poor quality applications. Today, we're going to show you how Onfido handles some examples of these problems. When it comes to fraud, font edits, text pasting, and photo swaps are just a few ways in which fraudsters attempt to edit documents. When it comes to human error, a user may take a picture of their passport with other IDs in the background. A document may have aged, become dirty, or faded. People also change. Their hair changes, or they may have gotten a suntan since their last passport picture, all of which create issues for automation. We've developed our ML systems to take on these challenges. This is a basic ML system which is commonplace in the IDV industry, but will struggle to perform well with real-world applications. This is where Onfido is different. Today, we'll talk about how our system is able to assess if a real document is present, which is one of the most common fraudulent attack vectors. To get the document into the system, we first start with the pre-processing stage, which is where all ML systems start. Let's take a look at what's been submitted. A bad quality image, which is hard to assess. And in this case, it's an image of a photocopy. Let's see how our system handles that. In addition to the basic components of an ML system, the document will pass through 4 of Onfido's additional components highlighted in gold, starting with the data monitor. This is a representation of how the data monitor sees documents. Every dot is a document that the system has seen before. Every colored cluster is a different class of document not present fraud. It assesses which class of fraud it thinks our document is, but our document is a poor quality image. So it's placed on the outer distribution of a group, showing it isn't confident in its assessment. Because it's not very confident, it is then passed to a second system which tries to improve the quality of the image. This component is what we call input enhancement. Its objective is to increase the image quality to a point where it can be confidently assessed. This is really important to us because it maximizes the number of applications we are able to process. For example, as our clients move into new emerging geographies where the standard of technology might not be as high, this process allows those applications to be processed without us asking a user to resubmit an image. This is done in seconds. Many companies would either reject an application and ask the user to resubmit an image, or would send them to human experts to process. This component allows us to automate more applications, allowing us to keep costs and turnaround to a minimum. The next component, which we call confidence checkup, checks the work of the entire system so far to ensure it's operated correctly and made the right decisions. Here, we see our document move closer to the center of the distribution because it's been successfully lightened and deblurred. As a result, the confidence score improves from 0.7 to 0.9, indicating that it's now okay to process. Most AI companies wouldn't be able to tell you why their models returned a certain result, because they're trained and left to operate. However, we're able to tell you, because we've created what we call decision logs. Decision logs allow us to see exactly why a decision has been made by other components, allowing us to ensure good quality control processes, because we can assess exactly why a decision has been made, and it also provides auditability. Lastly, our document travels to the decision stage. Here, we display all the data used to inform the system's decision via our dashboard. This final analysis is formed of dozens of checks, which are combined together in a single result, empowering you to make an informed decision on whether an application is genuine or fraudulent. Letting you run effective IDV with minimal friction at scale that can deal with the complexity of modern fraud. Meaning you don't lose revenue to fraud and can protect your platform trust and brand. On Fido, creating an open world where identity is the key to access.